From News Channel 5, this is WEWS News Channel 5 at noon.
Then we also have a computer expert here today with his 5 top tips on keeping your computer running the way it should be running. Now, before you take it in for repairs, see what advice he can offer to save you some money in the long run. Also ahead, meet a young local father who's getting ready for the ride of his life. He's got Parkinson's disease, but he's riding his motorcycle across the country because he's an optimist. Okay, Suzanne, now to the top 5 tips for a trouble-free computer. Chip Reeves is with Computer Troubleshooters. Chip, thanks for stopping by today.
Paul, glad to be here.
Hey, how'd you come up, before we break down these top 5, how'd you come up with them?
Well, Computer Troubleshooters is the world's largest computer service franchise. We've got 500 locations around the world. And a couple of years ago, we started working on a new business model, more like a health insurance model for computers or for small businesses, where instead of people paying us when their computers break, they pay us a flat monthly fee and we take care of all their problems. So we interviewed our offices and we said, are there things people should be doing with their computers that if they were doing those things, they would have almost no computer problems? And that's where our master list is about 40 things. These are the top 5, though.
Okay, number 1 of the top 5, old hardware. I find this one interesting out of the gate because old isn't really all that old.
Especially in computer terms. I mean, this one right here is only 3 or 4 years old. The problem with computers is a couple of things. As they get older, they suck in all this dust, and computers hate heat. So you get all this dust, acts like a blanket, makes the computer warmer, makes it not last as long. You also find that because most computer technicians are only in the business for 3 or 4 years, if you've got a computer that's 8 years old, they may never have seen it before, so you may have a problem they haven't seen.
Okay, let's talk about number 2, power protection.
Power protection. This is one of my pet peeves. A lot of people are used to these power strips. You see them everywhere. People use them for surge protection. They think they're protecting their computer from power spikes, power brownouts, and this sort of thing. Some do and some don't. This one right here I bought down the street for $5. This one I bought for $13. You can't tell the difference looking at them, but this one has surge protection, this one doesn't. Even the ones that have surge protection, it wears out in about 2 years. So you want to replace those for $10. It's a good investment just to keep a new one in there.
That's very interesting as well. Firewall and security, number 3 on the top 5.
Firewall is definitely a big thing. The internet is full of people that are trying to get into your computer. Not so much themselves, but they create programs to do it. If you're a home user, you've got to have a hardware firewall, or a business user. It's $50 to $100. It's a good investment. If you're a mobile user, where you're taking your computer around to coffee shops, Starbucks, and that sort of thing, you want to have a software firewall as well to protect you when you're on the road.
Hey, the last 2, 4 and 5, backup data and spam, viruses, and spyware.
Those are the big 2. Backup data is pretty obvious. I think everybody knows about it. Doesn't mean everybody always does it. The question we always get is when somebody's computer fails, they say, but it was just working 5 minutes ago. Couldn't I go back in time 5 minutes and get my data back? But if it's actually a hard drive failure, it can be several $1,000s to get the data back. But much better to back it up ahead of time. Spam viruses and spyware, that accounts for 60 to 80% of the problems we see with computers, especially the virus and the spyware part. What we find is that most people are familiar with the concept of computer viruses. They know they need some type of virus protection. The spyware part is relatively new, though. A lot of people don't know they need a separate package for spyware protection, and they both need to be up to date. We see a lot of people that have expired protection. Expired protection is no protection in this business. Well,
I learned a lot. I hope our viewers did. That's very interesting. But a lot of your calls have to be just to save data, and you can do that, right?
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. There are 6 computer troubleshooters in Northeast Ohio alone. Here's the number for you, 1-877-704-1702 to find one nearest you. Again, that's toll free, 1-877-704-1702, or you can go to our website, more information there. Again, Chip, thanks for coming in today. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.